Alright, your dumbass wants to learn how to use Roblox Studio. Okay, got it. Load up that base plate. We got a lot of things to uncover. Alright, first we have, our things that we're gonna use most of the time. We have, I'd say the part. You can move around with WASD, right clicking and holding the mouse down to, look. Clicking to select the block. And you can do different like parts with the little arrow here. Got 4 primitive parts. We have the move, scale, and rotate tool. So moving, scale is pretty useful. And rotation, pretty straightforward. And then we have materials, which, brick, fabric, all that shit. Coloring, a lot of colors. Now there are ways to get colors that aren't on this palette. I'll show you later. So there's also the terrain tool though. Yeah, just like that. Ooh. You have the play button right here, so you can actually test your game. Look at that. Alright. Now, there's the toolbox. The toolbox is kind of scary, I'm not gonna lie. There's a lot of things, like that. Or Squid Game. Among Us and Squid Game. Okay. We're gonna leave it like that for now. Okay, yeah, you can find a lot of things that people make, like models, images, meshes. If you don't know what a mesh is, it's something that was imported from another, I guess, 3D software, say like Blender. There's audios, yeah, that's self-explanatory. Videos and plugins. Plugins basically help you just make your building and life easier. I don't know what else to say about that though. Alright, so now we have the model tab. This is where things really get nifty. So I also forgot to mention that the select, move, scale, and rotate can be selected by holding Control and 1 through 4. So Control 1, Control 2, and Control 3 and Control 4. So you don't have to click up here every time you want to do something different. Oh, and also Control 5 for transform. It's like all the tools into one, and it even gives you a little grid. So the model tab. Alright, so we can turn on and off collisions, which if we duplicate a part by doing Control D, it'll just kind of stack up on each other. Now if we turn it off, there's no, collision. If we turn it back on, when we do that, it won't like go through the part. If I try to do it, it won't do anything. So, or it does. That's cool. Yeah, that's kind of weird. Alright, now if we turn it off, we can just put it inside of the part. Like half of it or something. So we have. I recommend turning off collisions. Like, there's literally no reason that you should have that on, ever. Rotate and move are pretty important. The most basic unit is one stud. So these squares, these little squares, I'll show you what one stud is. Fuck, alright. Yeah, that's one stud. So you can, you change the value of that. Like, I don't know, maybe I want to do 0.25. Okay. You can hold control and left click to do two sides at once. So just like that. And if I don't do control, then it's only one side, obviously. So there's that. No, it's back at one stud. Sweet. You can also change the rotation. So like, let's say 25 degrees. We do control 3. Or control 4, I mean. To get the rotation. There we have it. Or 5 degrees like it was before. Same thing. Just more precise. Now we have, let's say, the Properties tab. Now, if you don't have that up, if you click on the View tab on the top, there's these two buttons on the left, Properties and Explore. So on my left I have Explore, and on my right I have Properties. I'll go through the Explorer first, I guess. So your workspace here tells you everything that's actually in the game. And I guess the lighting too, because, you see that demonic thing? Yeah, that's kind of the sun. So you can change all the lighting factors. The workspace, as I said before, it's stuff that's in the game. Like, I just selected this part here. If I make another one, I can even name it and call it like part 2 or underscore part 2, same thing. Or let's say, I don't know, I want to make a little door real quick because why not, right? Doing it real fast. Let's say it's like a door frame. You can select it all and do Control G or right click, and then there's like a group button, yeah. Or do Control U to ungroup it all. So what grouping does is, well, it groups it all, so you have to click it and it makes it into a model. This makes things easier to organize and do other things with, I guess. You can also press F2 on the keyboard to rename it. I don't know, like door frame. Alright. And then you can select the parts individually. Now, if you don't want to ungroup something and it's just a quick change to something inside of the grouped item, you can hold Alt on your keyboard and it'll, hover over the block that you want, and then you click it and then you can manipulate it. See, it's still part of the group. Or the model, I mean, same thing. So I guess we got that. So now the Properties tab, let's just make another part here. So the Properties tab tells you clearly a lot of things here. We have, let's just break it down easily. We have our appearance, which is probably the most you're going to use, and transformation, which is the second most you're going to use. Now, everything else like data, pivot, behavior, okay, that one you're also going to use. Part, not really. Yeah, all of this stuff, you only need behavior, appearance, and transform. Those are the three main things you're actually ever going to use. So, as I was saying before, you can change the color like through this, but there's also more options. So actual color, this is just brick color. So this is like RGB. So there's all of the values. You can get more definite colors, I guess. You can also change the reflectance and the transparency. So let me get some that reflects, like glass. The difference actually looks kind of cool. You can make it so that if it casts shadow or not. So let's say make it hover. There's no shadow. If we do that, there's a shadow now. We can change the size here. Most of the time it'll be if you just want like very, you're just changing the size. I don't know. You can copy the position. So say you have a part all the way out here for some reason, and you copy the coordinates of this and just paste it onto here. It should work. Doesn't always. Okay, well sometimes it is a little finicky, but the point is that it would put it pretty much directly inside of it. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know why. But then there's the behavior sector, which there's anchored. Anchoring basically makes it whether a part has physics or not, I guess. So let's say these items are all floating. You can also anchor things right here in the home tab. And then if we click play, we'll be able to see that the items are floating. Okay, well that one should have, whatever. Okay, well you can see that these two are floating. And you don't actually have to like play the game. Right here, there's a run function. So, yeah, it'll test everything, but you don't actually have to be in the game. I guess I'll anchor that. And then if you unanchor it, just like this, it fell down. One thing I also forgot to mention is the can collide and can touch. I don't know what the difference between can touch and can collide is, but I know that can collide, it's, something can collide with something. If a player were to, I guess, walk up to a wall, would they be able to walk through the wall, or is it more of a physical object in the game? So those are the three: behavior, transform, and appearance. Now we have a little bit more advanced stuff like unions. Okay, so I'm gonna put in a sphere. So let's say we got this big part, and we're doing shift and left click to make it bigger. And now we go to model. Now, let's say we wanted to make a hole in here, right? So I would negate this part. I would shift click onto the brick and do union. And there we have it. We have our hole, kind of like a nozzle. Yeah. So let's say we didn't like what we just, we didn't like our results. So then we would click the separate button, and there's our negated part. So let's say I actually wanted it up here, so then I would shift click the block again, and then do union. And then we have it. You can also union a part when it's already been unioned. So, just negate it, shift click it, union. It's the same thing. So you can make complex shapes just like this. A thing about unions though, it's obviously all one piece, unlike a this where it's all individual parts. But unions, to change its color, you're gonna actually have to go into the properties tab and I guess in data, this tab, data, you're gonna have to click on use part color so that you can change the color. Because if it was off, well, it'd revert back to its original color. So there's that. So that looks kind of weird, I'm not gonna lie. Oof. Alright. So, dark theme. Yours is probably light theme. No one likes their eyes being killed, especially at night. So, we would click in the top left, File. I don't even think I know what I'm doing. Holy shit. What? Wait, did I actually forget? What? Studio. Okay. Okay, so you click in the top left, File, and then there's Studio Settings, or you can just do Alt and S. Same thing, really. So you have all of the general settings here. So you have your tools and all that, but we're just gonna do, dark theme. So the theme right here in general. So you can click it, do default, light and dark, and then there's dark. And you can click either, or if there's probably some save button or whatever. And okay, so then we have lighting. So there's bloom and all that. To add more stuff to your lighting, there's a little plus button here. So let's say we wanted color correction. We can do that. And to mess with all the settings here, there's actually on the properties tab to mess with even more settings. Like on the color correction, let's say I wanted it more dark and blue. Look at that. That actually looks kind of cool, I'm not gonna lie. Except for that, Jesus Christ. Alright, so, sun rays, boost it up. I don't know, yeah, eye blinding. But you get the idea. You can mess with things in the settings with the properties tab. In the workspace, you can also add, if you right click in the actual workspace, I guess, you can do insert object and then folder, which it will automatically place it in the workspace. It's not an actual object. So let's say I wanted to shift click and select all these items. We put in here, and it just kind of organizes things so that when you are actually making a game or project, you don't have to scroll down through endless bricks and items that you've grouped. And just like the model, you can also rename it. I'll just, creative name. Oh, you can actually rename the workspace. Well, that's cool. Wait. Can you? Oh, shit. I didn't know this, but you could scale down your entire game. That's a thing. If you just click on the workspace. Okay. Wow. That's everything that you probably need to know. Eat my balls. Alright, cool.